Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Lucci. Sorry I can't be there this morning, but I'm going to just run through the quick agenda for today. Miss Eno will be here to help out should you have questions on today's agenda. So first things first, your test for Chapter 3 will be next Tuesday, January 26th. So just wanted to give you that update. We talked about it last week, but I wanted to make sure that you knew exactly when it was. Next up on our agenda is missing work. Remember that you were to have checked Edline. I know it was down for a little while yesterday, but it was back up by 5 o'clock yesterday as I was checking their site. So if you have missing work, it's due by the end of the day. You can turn that in again to Miss Eno. Next up, we'll be checking the phases of meiosis homework. That was page 13 in your packet last night. We will review that tomorrow because I know that might be a little bit confusing. So we'll go ahead and go over that homework tomorrow. But today we're just checking to make sure that it was complete. Then we get to Tour of the Basics. So this link is on Google Classroom. So let's head over there and I'll describe it to you. So now that we're on Google Classroom here, you can see that I've got two links loaded. The first one, lower down, is actually the one that you're going to start with. This is the Tour of the Basics, and it is a pretty easy site to navigate, and it follows along in order with the handout that you picked up yesterday. If you have lost that handout, there are a few extra copies, though not that many, in the extra handout bin. So you're going to run through each of these short simulations and
What
answer
is
the
heredity?
questions.
Why do children
Okay.
look like they're... Where exactly are our traits? Our genes encode the...
So obviously she's pretty loud, so you might want to mute it or bring your earbuds with you today to class. So one of the things that you noticed that I did, however, was once I clicked on it, you can keep clicking next. But in order to get back to this list, I actually had to click the back button. That's the one thing it doesn't do. Once you finish this first section called What is Heredity, it won't automatically move to What is a Trait. So you just keep clicking the next button, and then when you've cycled all the way through it, hit the back button on the Chrome browser, and that'll bring you to the next section to complete for your web quest. Okay, so we'll be reviewing this tomorrow, so it should be realistic for you to get it done in class today. You might have to do a little bit at home tonight, but I'm really not expecting that you'll have to do a lot. Okay. Once you have finished Tour of the Basics, you are going to go to Dragon Meiosis. That's also on Google Classroom, and I have a link here. It might cite you or might prompt you to go through an activity that you're going to skip. So you'll notice that it's loading up a page, and if it comes to this point, that's great. If, however, it seems as though it's coming to a page with a whole intro, please skip that and just click on the case log. It looks like a notebook or a binder here. You're going to start at this point because it has kind of a whole background theme of Dungeons and Dragons that frankly you really don't need to complete in order to start the meiosis activity. But once you do get to this point, then you can click on the playground button, and it'll kind of talk you through a little bit about some of these attributes and traits that these dragons have, whether they have metallic or non-metallic feature to their skin, if they have wings or hind legs or forelimbs. So it'll go through all of these things, and in doing that, you can see what traits are located on the chromosomes for each dragon. So this would be the female dragon, or drake as they're calling it, and this would be the male one. And you can see that there are some differences in their chromosomes, and your goal will be to learn a little bit about these traits, try to figure out what's dominant and recessive, and then through the process of meiosis, try to create the offspring that they are specifically looking for. You'll get a target offspring, and based on the traits that are located in the reproductive cells, the egg and the sperm, you will try to create matching offspring. So you have to pay attention to what traits are potentially there for each parent. Look at where the traits are divided in the different cells that are produced through meiosis and see what you can come up with. Okay, this is one that I think if you play around with it and see what options you get, you'll learn a lot about how the alleles are passed down and whether the alleles are dominant or recessive. Okay. So we are now at the end of our agenda for today. You've seen where you can find the links for Tour of the Basics for Dragon Meiosis. Both are on Google Classroom. Tonight's homework is Block 7. You're reading up on that last section in the chapter. So we will spend the next several days kind of going over and breaking down some of the more complex parts of the chapter. But hopefully this is clear and you'll have a productive class.